Good evening, everybody. We're on the whiteboard. We're going to begin with actually the home side this time around. So coming up in today's video, we'll look at the home side, which I've got behind us. We'll look at Swansea City. We'll tell you where the fan cams are located at, and we'll also give you a couple of betting odds as well. But let's crack on with the tune. And you know, it's a nice change. Rafa's got a lot of options. You know, there is some injuries that Mitrovic won't feature, Gamaz and Lejeune, but Lascelles is fit as well. Rob Elliott's back, and Chancellor Mbemba. So we've got a lot to pick from, which is a nice, I guess, conundrum that Rafa has. Who does he play in goal? Does he bring Rob Elliott back in goal? I can't say. Does he continue Freddie Woodman from his cup game? I think he'll go for Darlow just because Darlow had a great game against Stoke, so I'm going to opt for Darlow. Who does he go for right back? Now, he's got the option of playing Manquillo. I have a full back position, but I'm going to go with Yedlin, in particular Yedlin home, because he can get up and down that wing. I think it'll be Lascelles as a certainty to start. I think Clark will start. I can't see him just chucking in Chancellor Mbemba out the cold. But then again, it is Rafa Benitez, isn't it? Paul Dermott, I think, will continue at left back. I think he will go ahead of Javier Manquillo for this game as well. And I think it will be Shelvey and Merino. Now, these are great options. And something that we'll want to see, maybe Shelvey getting forward a bit more. More than that in a second. However, you look at like the likes of Mo Diarmi. Now, Mo Diarmi has actually been playing really well in this deep line centre midfield role. He actually has, and he's been doing the job, and he looks so much better there. It wouldn't be a shock to me if he goes with Diarmi, but I'm going to put my neck on the line and say he's not going to. I'm going to go with Shelvey Merino. And then Richie on the right, although I know his form has dropped. I think Atsu will be on the left. But, you know, you're asking yourself, well, had a minute, you've took Jacob Murphy out the lineup. Yeah, I have. I think Murphy will go back to the bench, and I think he will go with Richie and Atsu. I know you probably say, well, that's not the right thing to do because Murphy's on form, but I'm just trying to go with what Rafa is, what I've been reading, what Rafa's been saying all week. Hoslu up top. I think he'll push Perez on. I don't think Perez will be so much as the number 10, but I think he will go with the two top. Again, you've got the options of having one up top, maybe go with Gale, play with Perez in the 10. He's got several options, and I keep saying it's actually nice to have some options. Of course, we want some transfers in. Now, you might have seen our previous video earlier on tonight, which is about Rafa's press conference recap. If you haven't, check it out. It's all about the transfers, what Rafa has been saying. There was some audio issues with it. That's because if you're watching on an iPhone, for some reason, Apple have speeded the video up. It works fine on an Android, and also if you're watching it on a Mac as well. Something to do with an iPhone, but if it happens on this video, then you know why. Right. Okay, so Swansea, how we're going to win. Now, I think you've got to attack them, first of all. So for me, one of these two, I've got to have a license to get forward. You're going to have to ask yourself, right, you go and I'll sit. Which one is it? For me, it's got to be Shelvey. He'll be eager. You'll be eager to score. Now, we didn't start last time around, last year, because we won 1-0 with Jamal Lascelles, but Shelvey was just coming back from his ban. He was on the bench, and he'll want to start and he'll want to impress. So for me, let's get Shelvey playing forward, because Mikel Merino is in the top 10 of players who have won the most tackles. So he can win a tackle, but then he can also bring the ball forward as well. So one of them has to sit, and for me, I would go for Mikel Merino. But then you ask yourself, well, had a minute, Mo Diarmi could do that job because he's been doing well. But for me, go for Merino. I think time is ticking on Matt Ritchie. He is out of form, but I think Rafa will go for him. If he doesn't start producing the goods, I mean, he's been unlucky with the two shots against on the woodwork, you know, against, who was it? I can't remember. It was West Ham and somebody else. Someone will let us know in the comments box when he hit the smash the post. I think it was Everton. He needs a game and a half because Murphy's now producing, and Atsu's gone off the boil a little bit as well, so I think it's important. Now, Swansea will play with width. So you're going to have to ask yourself, I think it's going to, a lot of the ball will be played out wide from their end. So you're going to have to then ask your wingers to help backtrack back. And I think that's why you'll go with these two. But if we can get forward on the pace, Atsu, great. But for me, as I keep saying, I think I generally feel his position now is under threat with Murphy because Murphy's producing. And if Murphy starts, I wouldn't be too disheartened, but I think he'll go for Richie because he works hard. I was impressed. 3 goals in 2 games, absolutely fantastic. I think you've got to play him up top. If he plays him in the 10, I'll be a little bit disappointed because he scored as a striker. Yes, you might not have had the greatest game, but do you know what it is? I've said this before already earlier on this week. If he plays poor and scores a goal, I'm not bothered. He scored. At the end of the day, he scores. Like, people criticising his performance against Luton. Yes, he wasn't very spectacular against Luton, got 2 tap-ins, but he was there for the tap-ins. He was in that position as a striker. Do it again. Perez, do it again. More than happy with that. I think he'll go with Hostel because I don't think it'll be Gale in Perez up top, two diminutive players. I think you'll go with Hoslu so you can have the likes, because we all know Paul Dummett loves to clip it in. We know that Paul Dummett loves to do that. So that'll be ideal for Hoslu to then hold the ball up and have players around him, which ideally you'll probably want Gale, but because Perez is in form, I think you will go with that as well. I think you will see the fullbacks, in particular Yedlin bombing on as per usual. I think these two, I think, we're pretty sound. I think we'll look after Swansea's attack, and Lascelles and Clark. Lascelles, when he's in that side, we look so much of a different side as well. I think you've just got to be careful. I think they'll probably go with Ayew and Boney up top as well. But as I say, I think you've got to get bodies forward this game. Let's chuck some bodies forward. Let's get 5-6 bodies into that box. When we've got a cross, when we're trying to win that second ball, 5-6 bodies in that box and we'll score from it. I think this is a game where Newcastle need to win because we've got Man City next. Let's get out at Swansea. Right, so Swansea have an issue at right back. Kyle Naughton is suspended and Angel Rangel is out of this one. So first of all, straight away, sorry, I'll talk you through the lineups. Fabianski in goal, I think we'll go with Bartley, Fernandez, Mawson, Olsen. Now, they did play a wing-back system when they played Spurs. We're just skipping the FA Cup because you can't really take the FA Cup seriously when you're changing the side a lot. So they played a wing-back system. I think they'll go back with flat-back 4. Fern Klukas, Renato Sanchez is ruled out. I think they will play with width. You could play Klukas out on the left, but I think you might go with Narsing for this one. Dyer on the right. Ayew and Boney. Ayew, and then there's a striker / number 10, Boney up top. But, as I touched upon, we've got a centre-back playing out of position here, and this is where Christian Atsu needs to be fed a lot of the ball. If we can get Christian Atsu running at him, and also, you know, the likes of Ayoze Perez drifting around Hoslu, we can cause him a lot of issues, I feel, personally. I think he's obviously talked about, excuse me, I got hiccups, I've just had a chip butty. So he's talked about as a future England international. Who knows? We'll have to see how his development goes. I think Fabianski's a great goalkeeper. I think you're probably going to need a few shots of Fabianski to beat him because I think he's one of the best shot stoppers. And when I say shot stoppers, I'm not talking about goalkeepers, shot stopping goalkeepers. One of the best shot stoppers in the league as well. You expect Olsen to bomb on as well. So maybe again Matt Ritchie can get some joy out of him as well. And then Narsing as well. I was humming an orange. Does he start Narsing or not? Because he normally brings him off the bench. I think you might go with him because he has scored. I think it was Watford, was it? Swansea fans, let me know if I'm wrong on that. Sam Klukas, who we were actually linked to last season as well. Obviously chose Swansea. Leroy Fer. Now, Dan, who came on last night, the Swansea fan, was dreading Leroy Fer coming back into side because he hasn't lived up to expectations for Swansea, which is an interesting one considering he used to be former Dutch international, didn't he? I think you'll switch Dyer to the right. Again, pace, you know, the little Chris Rock, as I call him, because he is the spitting double of Chris Rock. But I think, again, they've got a bit of pace here, but I think if Dyer's going to go that way, he's going to have to help out defensively because, again, we can target Bartley for me. I think that's an issue for Swansea to keep touched upon. Ayew, who... you know, his brother scored against for West Ham the other week. He'll be floating around, you know. I don't think he'll be an out-and-out striker. He'll be floating around these kind of positions. Boney, I think he'll go with Boney. Now, Tammy Abraham is a doubt, so he could, you know, when I say he, you know, the new manager, Carlos Carvajal, could go with Tammy Abraham up front, but he's been on the bench lately anyway, so I think you will go with Wilfred Boney, and I think Boney will be subbed off later on. It's important that Lascelles and Clark talk to each other because he's big, you know, you can hold the ball up. I think he's stronger than both of our centre-backs as well, so we just got to keep an eye out if he holds it up, if we've got some runners coming on, you know. You just got to be careful, whoever's around our markers, keeping an eye out that for me as well. But, you know, looking at that side, and Swansea bottom of the league, you've got to think yourselves, right, they're not scoring many goals. They are conceding a lot of goals also. You would think, yeah, it's nailed on for Newcastle to win this, but there's only 6 points in the two teams, and if Swansea were to win, they'll only be a point off from being safe. Newcastle, however, were to win, will push themselves even further away from that relegation zone with Manchester City on the horizon as well. I think if you can keep the strikers in the midfield fairly quiet, I think Newcastle should, and I say should, have a comfortable afternoon. Now, if we can get that win, fantastic, because we've got Man City. It's a bonus game. Get that out of the way, and then we'll focus on the real fixtures with the likes of Burnley later on in the month as well. If you're coming on to fan cams, you know, after the game, if you are attending the game, people keep asking us all over social media, well, where's it located? These are the pictures on screen now. You can see now where we will record our videos. It's just up. We keep telling everyone it's just up from the players' entrance. You cannot miss us. We're normally just in front or just by the side of the magazine wagon. So we'll be around about there about 10 minutes after the game. So come along, have a chat with us as well. And of course, if you're going to have a bet on the tune, what better way to earn yourself a double deposit through BetSafe as well? There's a link in the description as well on on screen now, you can see all the latest odds for the first goal scorer. So if you are feeling a bit lucky and you want to double your money by doubling your deposit, bet safe as well. Check the description out as well. But prediction wise, looking at this team, you're now looking at the Toons. I've already said, you know, earlier on in the week when I was with Sharky St James's, I've got to say 2-1. I'm sticking to that. I think we will concede. I don't think Swansea will trouble us too much, but I think 2-1 is what I'm going to gun for as well. Let me know what your lineups will be, the score prediction, and how the game's going to go. See you later. Bye.